let's just start from there. Let's just start from being open about listening to people when they tell us their experiences, and listening to people because they know themselves better than we ever can.
Heaven help the fool in here.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I'm a non-binary trans femme person, and I've been spending the past 6 years doing advocacy and a lot of stuff to try to, where I can, improve the rights of other people like me, whether that's people with mental illness or people struggling to accept who they are or be safe being who they are as a queer person.
So, if I call you,
The thing that really kind of drew me to start trying to be more involved and trying to be more vocal as an advocate and as an activist was really because of some experiences I had when I was 15. During that year, it was year 10, I basically spent more time in hospital than I did in school because of how frequently and intensely I was attempting to take my own life. There was a conversation I still remember us having in a hospital room where it finally, and they tried to get it into my head so many times, but where it finally clicked to me that it wouldn't matter who I was, and I wasn't certain about that at the time, but that it wouldn't matter who I was and what exactly it was that made me feel as though I was so wrong. Whatever the actual reason for that was, that I would still be accepted. And it was this moment that made me realize how important it is to create that sense of safety, that sense of freedom and lack of judgment for others, because without that, then if you're sitting there repressed, sitting there being made to feel as though who you are is inherently and fundamentally wrong, it's incredibly difficult to live with that, let alone live in a happy way, live in a way which is, more than surviving, live in a way that is actually thriving, in a way that has joy, in a way where your life feel as though your life has meaning and purpose.
heavy is the weight of time.
On an individual level, some of the really important things people can do to support the LGBT community are just kind of checking your own biases, and if you notice yourself having a reaction when someone says they're gay or trans, or when you see a trans person in a bathroom, just kind of stopping and going, does this actually affect me? And the answer the majority of time is going to be no. And in that case, let us live our lives. More broadly, if we can move towards degendering spaces, that is so important, because it's nearly always arbitrary. There's no reason that, red needs to be a color associated with boys and pink needs to be a color associated with girls. Degendering spaces will allow for people to just have more freedom to play around with and explore who they are without it being such a big deal. On a bigger level, there's always talking to government officials and talking to health practitioners around the needs of the LGBT community, talking about the fact that there's a lot of very simple things that can be done that aren't being done at the moment. Stuff like closing up the loopholes in current South Australian discrimination laws, or stuff around, releasing the gender diversity model of care and actually banning conversion therapy, which is still entirely legal within South Australia.
'Cause I don't know which way he's gonna go.
Honestly, living as a trans person can be really horrifying sometimes. It was only a couple of months ago that there were neo-Nazis marching in Melbourne in protest of trans people existing. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do, right? At best, it's a choice between being ourselves and being open, or having to hide who we are. At worst, it's a choice between being ourselves and not being here at all. It's not something that we do because of how it will impact others. It's ultimately always about what you as an individual need. So if someone around you chooses to come out, talk to them about why that is, and listen without judgment. Listen with an understanding that if they've done this, it's because they felt as though they need to. When you look at the way that the media talks about trans people, when you look at the way that the general population doesn't understand and can even react with hatred and anger and violence, why would someone willingly put themselves through that? It's because it reaches this point where it's not a choice. It's something that you have to do for survival. You have to be able to be yourself and be authentic. Otherwise, are you even living?
To be free, then by